For the second time since leaving in Tasmania, I go up over the Great Divide, hit the east coast, and then come back over the Great Divide into the west of New South Wales. After seeing the decimation caused by goats and overgrazing a few kilometres away, it's nice to see what the river can look like if it's looked after. Geez, I'm amazed where I'm seeing pigs. Even in really dry areas, they do so much damage. Lightning Ridge. Wasn't impressed with it. A little bit of a mining town on the down, but I arrived on a Saturday where the local miners were trying to sell their pickings and a few other things. What I did like about Lightning Ridge was the artesian baths, which you find all around these areas. The water comes from deep down below from the artesian basin, where it's heated by the earth, coming up at about 40 degrees. The only downside to these pools was you only read the sign on the way out. And there's an easy way to make $1 million as an opal miner. You start with $5 million. Heading south from Lightning Ridge, I'm on one of the long paddocks, one of the long roads where drovers take their cattle to market in the old days, whereas now they just use it for grazing when times are tough. I found some wonderful camping spots by these inland rivers, absolutely divine. Brewarrina, known as Bree, east of Burke, still along the river, has the oldest fish traps in Australia, 40,000 years old. Pushing east, I'm still following the vast floodplains of the inland rivers. Gee, they've had some dry time here. And one thing you notice, as farms get bigger and bigger, there are a lot of abandoned homesteads. I try mostly to take secondary roads. I think as you zigzag your way through the country, you see an awful lot more. And through these plains, I start to see a little bit of blue on the horizon, which is the Great Divide Mountains. That's my destination for the night. You know the way you hear of people who drive into a river because their GPS told them there was a bridge there? I felt like I was going to be one of those people today. This became narrow, rougher and rougher, and zigzagging through some really dense bushland for a hell of a long time. But we got there. Sculpture in the bush was my destination for the night. I think I reserve my opinion on this. Early start, I hit the tracks heading over the Great Divide for the east coast of Australia. Setting off for the east coast, stunning big climbs and then beautiful rich valleys as I head across. And as I'm soon to learn about New South Wales, no one does pothole patches on top of pothole patches on top of pothole patches like New South Wales. Finally arriving at a mate's place in New South Wales, and it's a good opportunity to get everything out and get rid of an awful lot of stuff. Gee, I overpacked. A few days of catching up with a mate, relaxing by the coast, restocking my stomach, and I head back west again. Arriving in Gloucester, I'm blown away by how beautiful this place is. Lovely town. Next morning, after another beautiful sunrise, I leave Gloucester, go up over the Great Divide, leaving the lushness of the eastern side to get to the dryness of the western side. After many a dusty kilometre, I get to Hanging Rock, which is different to the Victorian Hanging Rock after the film. This Hanging Rock is over 1,000 metres, or the mountain attached to the rock, looking west, slightly south of Tamworth. Really spectacular view. The eastern side of the Great Divide is so different to this western side, which is very, very dry and gets even drier as I head further north. It's the weekend. I'm waiting for an auto electrician in Tamworth, so I spend some time at Sabrina Lake. What a beautiful spot, and I scored the best spot. Having survived falling trees, there were none, I leave the lake, which is about 1,000 metres high, and head down towards Tamworth. On the way, I stop at Nundle for one of the best days I've had. This was so much fun. West of the Great Divide, it certainly was dry and would only get drier, but the Great Nundle Dog Race was an amazing day. If you're ever around at that time of the year, south of Tamworth, Nundle, you've got to see it. People came from miles around, and it was such a wonderful atmosphere. I really, really enjoyed my day, and the CWA stall was great too. I get to Tamworth, a great Sparky helps me out with a couple of the solar issues, and I consider repowering my van. The glamour of travelling on a budget. Camped on the side of the road in the dust, but at least I got a visitor at night time. Finally some rain. The dust turns to mud. I'm not sure which is better, but a bit of wildlife starts to come out.